What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Do remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified of all latest content as and when it drops on the channel. Let's get into this one. So this coming Saturday, we're going to have LAWRENCEOKOLIE, the Source, versus Chris the Gentleman, Billam Smith, and this is going to be taking place in Chris Billam Smith's hometown of Bournemouth in a football ground. So it's going to be a very bipartisan crowd. It's going to be a crowd that is going to be screaming from the rooftops about Chris Billam Smith. It's going to be a crowd that's really going to be having his back and really going to be supporting Billam Smith. So he's going to have all the crowd and everything on his side, and LAWRENCEOKOLIE is going to be hostile territory for him. It's going to be interesting because both guys used to have the same coach in Shane McGuigan. LAWRENCEOKOLIE has since left Shane McGuigan. I believe this was just due to sort of logistics, as Okolie, I believe, wanted to base himself out in Dubai. McGuigan didn't want to sort of move his setup to a different location. He's got other fighters in the gym, so he decided to do that, and Okolie moved on. I thought they worked well together, Okolie and McGuigan. You could see some decent improvements. And Billam Smith, of course, he's also Shane McGuigan fighter. They've sparred literally hundreds of rounds together. So these are two guys going into this fight on Saturday that really know each other well. They know each other's strengths, weaknesses. They know each other's habits. They know a lot about each other. When you fight someone, you spar someone, you get to know the person, you get to know their habits, you get to know what they like, there's a lot at stake here. I'd say of the two men, LAWRENCEOKOLIE most definitely has a lot more to lose here, because he's the guy that a lot of people call boring, because he ties guys up. And he's physically strong, and he's very awkward in the way that he fights. And there's a lot of people who don't like him. There's a lot of people who don't like him, who don't like to watch him. And the one thing he's not done wrong is he's kept that winning record. And as they were saying on the ID Boxing, on that podcast, about for LAWRENCEOKOLIE, he's the guy that he fights in kind of the ugly way. But regardless of what people say, it's about, well, you diss me, you say I'm crap, whatever, come and prove me wrong. And LAWRENCEOKOLIE, he's a guy that's very staunch. He doesn't sort of take things on or take things personally. And he's going to need all of that staunchness going into this, because he's going against his former coach. And, it's going to be interesting, really, because I've been thinking about, who does this really favor going into this fight? Does it favor Billam Smith to have the coach, Shane McGuigan, and he's going against Okolie, who's now got Sugar Hill as his trainer? So does that, and I think in a certain way that does give Chris Billam Smith a bit of an advantage, or at least something in his favor, that he has the former coach, because their setup, Billam Smith and McGuigan are gonna certainly know Okolie much better than Sugar Hill Stewart can know LAWRENCEOKOLIE, because Sugar Hill Stewart has only been working with LAWRENCEOKOLIE for I want to say about a couple of months. So they've only known each other for a very short period of time, as far as working together as trainer and fighter. So I think in that sense, yeah, Billam Smith, he might have that advantage. But at the same time, I still kind of back LAWRENCEOKOLIE to win this fight, because I think LAWRENCEOKOLIE, he's just so awkward and so difficult to beat. That style of his is so difficult to come to grips with. And I think in order for Billam Smith to sort of win this fight, he's going to have to sort of get stuck into LAWRENCEOKOLIE. He's going to have to come in at close range, and he's going to have to sort of put himself at risk. Because I think at long range, is kind of Lawrence Okolie's fight all day. You know, he can deal with probably Billam Smith from long range, and at long range, Billam Smith is going to have to run that risk of being at the end of one of those Lawrence Okolie right hands and getting caught with something. So I think Billam Smith is going to have to kind of put it on Lawrence Okolie, going to have to pressurize him and then try to escape before Lawrence Okolie gets into that hugging and holding sort of style, you know. So I think for me, overall, I think it will be a competitive fight, but overall, I'm picking Lawrence Okolie to win this fight, and I'm picking him to kind of win it ugly. I'm picking Lawrence Okolie to sort of win this fight ugly on points. You know, I'm picking him to sort of nullify Chris Billam Smith as Chris Billam Smith tries to fight up close. I think Lawrence Okolie will be able to hold him. He'll be able to hurt him with something. And for me, I'm thinking Billam Smith will be brave. He'll be bold. I think he'll win rounds off of Lawrence Okolie, but ultimately he's going to succumb to either a very powerful shot from Lawrence Okolie and maybe get stopped late on, or he's gonna lose on points. You know, that's my opinion on it, because I just think Lawrence Okolie is just too awkward, and he's so physically strong and so difficult to pin down and even to hit cleanly. Lawrence Okolie, he's difficult to kind of hit cleanly because he's so awkward, and for me, I think he's just going to be a little bit too strong and too powerful for Chris Billam Smith. So for me, I'm picking most likely outcome Lawrence Okolie to win on points, or barring that, I think he might stop Chris Billam Smith late. But it will be a good fight, and it will be, well, actually, I say a good fight. It'll probably be a fight that's at times quite ugly to watch, but I think Lawrence Okolie comes out on top for me. And yeah, let me know what you think about this, and until next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out.